You know what they say? A hat is 1,000 words. And you're like, gee, Dan, what a cool hat! And no, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing this thing in public. Trust me. I'd rather wear... Hold up. I think I got this hat somewhere. I'd rather wear this thing in public than this. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Nevertheless, you can see he loved Charizard. But not only that, he loved Sonic. But for this video at hand, he loves Dragon Ball. It's his favorite anime of all time. And whenever I heard this in high school, I would always make fun of him. I'd be like, wow, Dragon Ball's so cringe. What a cringe lord. You watching Dragon Ball? Oh, what, you love Goku? Yeah, it was my darker times. And to be fair, I kind of look back. You know, I was kind of a jerk. I should have appreciated his tastes. I should have understood them. But now, as you can see, I decided to watch Dragon Ball for the first time, and I kind of like it. So, what a hypocrite I was back then. So, to my friend in question, I apologize for all the years of teasing and mocking in high school that I gave you because you watched Dragon Ball. But still, I fucking hate Charizard. Who likes him? He's such an entitled prick. Like, come on. 2 Mega Evolutions? Like, that's not enough? Like, come on. Before I do start this video, I would recommend you guys to subscribe. I really want to grow this channel. I have a lot of interesting topics I want to talk about in the future as well, and these Dragon Ball videos I want to post weekly, depending on how long these arcs are. And also, 95% of you guys who are watching haven't subscribed, so I mean, it would really help out the channel, but I get it. It's your choice. I fully understand. Nevertheless, with that out of the way, what did I think of the show overall? Like I mentioned earlier, I really did enjoy it, and one of the first things to strike out to me was the narrator. I think it's like the first voice you hear when watching, and man, what a really good narrator. Probably one of my favorites within any anime. I mean, I like the One Piece narrator, that's pretty good, but maybe it's because I've been watching the dub, so I can kind of relate to the voice more, because, you know, we share the same language, and I can kind of understand the tone of the narrator's voice. Again, it's just very iconic, and it kind of reminds me of that Saturday morning cartoon vibes, and I even heard people before I started watching saying, like, next time on Dragon Ball so-and-so, tune in next time, that kind of thing, so I'm not the only one that appreciates the narrator's voice. Also, while on topic about the audio department, I actually enjoyed the opening a lot. I saw some people, because I was watching this on Funimation at first, I saw some people saying that the dub opening is kind of cringy, and I don't know, I mess with the, I threw it on my YouTube music account. I sometimes jam out to that, so I enjoy the opening. A lot of the sound design is pretty good as well. When the characters were talking in the beginning, Bulma, by the way, I mispronounced her name in my last video, sorry for that. When Bulma and Goku were talking, I noticed that they added a nice echo effect. I barely noticed that, but again, very nice attention to detail there. So the audio is fine, and the dub itself is nicely performed. It feels very natural, you know. One of the complaints I have with a lot of anime dubs is that sometimes it feels too forced, like they're overacting, and it's like, it's kind of cringy, you know? But this, it feels very natural. The characters sound the way they should sound, and nothing really sounded off. In addition, one other thing that really struck out to me on my first initial watch was the art style. I really did enjoy it a lot, and again, it does have that old school look to it that I thought originally would be the case, but I just kind of like how everything has its own little unique design. I don't know, I can't really describe it. It's more of the architecture of certain items, like Bulma's car. I really like the design of that in the first episode, and even the buildings and houses, that kind of dome shape. I just really enjoy that look, and the creature designs as well are very interesting and just feel alive. Nevertheless, another thing that really interested me was the capsules. They're very simple. They could pretty much just hold any item, even a house, a car, but you can carry it within your pocket, like a little pill size. It's just basically it's convenient storage, but I think it's just really interesting, and it kind of builds up this world too, because as you first watch this show, you're learning all these crazy things alongside Goku. And you know what? while speaking on the topic of Goku, I actually initially coming in, I thought I really wasn't gonna like him as much. I mean, no hate, of course, but I didn't really think I would appreciate his character, and let me get this out of the way, of course. He isn't an overly complicated character. He's a very simple one, but I think that's kind of where his charm shines. If I had to say, in my opinion at least, I feel like Goku is the most childlike character I've ever watched within anime. I'm going to, I guess, make an example comparison between Naruto. The first part of Naruto, the original. I mean, yes, Naruto was a child and he did reckless things and he would cause mischief in the Hidden Leaf Village, but I feel like Goku has that advantage to where he really does sound like a child you would find in the real world. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any better, to where he doesn't understand the mistakes he's making, he doesn't understand social cues, and I just find it so hilarious because really they use that, the show, or at least the writer Akira Toriyama, oh my god, I'm totally gonna butcher that, but he really wrote it in so well, to where you have this very innocent character drastically contrast with all these mature, I'd say very perverted characters, and it's just the most interesting contrast I've ever seen within any anime I've watched before, and it leads to a lot of very funny moments. I mean, for starters, Goku just doesn't understand gender differences. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, dude, I came into the show expecting some tame stuff, but every single, 10 minutes, there's, a sex joke, or there's some, pervertedness. There's, these adult jokes that are thrown in here, and it's just absolutely hilarious because they're being thrown at, pretty much a child in Goku's case. It's just so freaking funny. Bulma's stripping down for Master Roshi. He's having a heart attack. Goku keeps touching people's unmentionables because he doesn't know whether they're a boy or girl. And the thing is, he does these weird things, but it's all excusable because as a kid, you don't know any better. And it's just, he has this charm because I think we can all relate to a time when we were younger where pretty much anything we did, to a certain degree, of course, was excusable. Aside from Goku, what do I think about the other cast of characters that feature in this arc? And they're okay. I mean, they're nothing amazing. Bulma's your typical teenage girl. Yamcha's kind of your typical simp. But, jokes aside, I actually really enjoyed his character. He turned from a foe into a friend, and the same could be said with Oolong. I really did enjoy his character. He has this very blunt humor about him. I mean, dude, it's just so weird. In this world, apparently, there's talking pigs, there's talking dogs, talking dinosaurs. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, because again, I didn't think that would be the case, and the show doesn't explain why there's talking animals. It just is what it is. Overall, these characters, aside from Goku, aren't really too remarkable. Don't get me wrong, they're enjoyable, but they didn't necessarily have that three-dimensional feel. They're all entertaining though. When you pair all these guys up in one room, you're gonna have a good time. And by the end of their first journey, and yes, it's actually, okay, I want to have just a little bit of a side note here. I thought the show was going super fast because obviously the goal is to get 7 Dragon Balls and boom, the dragon could give you a wish, etc. Pretty interesting concept already, your typical fetch quest, I have no problem against that. If the journey is interesting, the journey is more important than the destination, that kind of thing. So, but they're getting these Dragon Balls really quickly, and I'm like, okay, how is this gonna work? I thought getting the Dragon Balls would literally be the entire show, but I think it's literally about 12 to 15 episodes, the first arc, and literally that first arc is them trying to get all 7 Dragon Balls. But I gotta be blunt, I did enjoy the pacing of the first arc. Everything was really quick, and it felt like they didn't really bullshit around. That's one thing that I think a lot of people have issues with a lot of anime adaptations. I've been told from multiple people that the One Piece anime, it just kind of bullshits around. It's a little sluggish. Obviously if you're reading the manga, you're going to get through things a lot faster. But at least within this first arc, within the original Dragon Ball, I didn't really feel like they were trying to stall us out to, to get that runtime higher. No, I feel like everything was going at a very fast, clean pace, boom, all along our long. This isn't fucking One Piece. Oolong! But Nevertheless, these characters are being introduced quickly within like literally one episode, and they get established and boom, next episode they're on the crew. And I thought this was going to be a little bit of an annoying thing, like come on, we got to get some character, we have to have multiple episodes of character development until they can kind of officially join the crew. Still, overall, my point is, because I feel like I'm kind of dragging this on, the pacing was faster than I thought, and I thought that was going to be a problem in the beginning, but I think it paid off very well. It really does cut the bullshit out. It trims the fat on the meat to get to the good stuff. Also, as I'm finishing up talking about the characters, I guess it would be fair enough to mention the main villain of this arc. Well, I say main villain very loosely because I'm going to put this on record. The moment I saw this guy on screen, I knew for a fact he was not going to play a role in the future after this first arc. I'm not going to fall for the same trick I did with Naruto. When I first watched Naruto, I literally thought Gato was going to be the big baddie of the entire series. And some of you would be like, who the fuck is Gato? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's the sad mistake I made when I first watched that show. I came into class, I told my friend, I'm like, yeah, I'm actually liking the main villain Gato. My friend looked at me like fucking weird. He's like, who the fuck is Gato? And he just laughed in my face. So from that point on, if there's ever like a villain like this that appears within early arcs of an anime, I don't ever assume that they're going to become the main villain. I didn't even talk about the character itself. Oh my god. Yeah, I forget his name. Emperor something. He's kind of forgettable. He's kind of literally your typical Saturday morning cartoon villain. If that's the case, it gets the job done, but he has like no backstory. He's sort of a joke. Like, I mean, really, he's a joke. Like, most of what he says is not meant to be taken seriously, and his goons as well. Like, at first you're kind of set. You have this impression that maybe they're a true threat, but they really aren't to a certain degree. And I think later on, as I watch this show and I look back, they're probably just going to be really forgettable, and it's a whatever thing. In conclusion, I do want to mention a few things before I do end the video. One, I think this is a pretty good start for Dragon Ball in general. I enjoyed what I saw. It wasn't too crazy spectacular, but it got me hooked. It was good enough to where it reeled me in, and now I'm invested within the show. So great. Two, you probably have noticed this, but I haven't really commented on Master Roshi. I'll save him for the next arc review because let's just say he shines a lot more there. And yes, I have continued. Actually, I already watched the second arc. So if you're curious to find out my thoughts about Master Roshi and the tournament arc overall, subscribe, and I'll have that video as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. I 100% appreciate it, and have an absolutely wonderful day.